Yeah. Yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1,
למחזיקים בה, למחזיקים בה, עץ חיים למחזיקים בה, עץ חיים היא, עץ חיים היא, למחזיקים בה, למחזיקים בה, וצומח מאושר. למחזיקים בה, עץ חיים היא, למחזיקים בה, עץ חיים היא, עץ חיים היא, למחזיקים בה, למחזיקים בה, וצומח מאושר. Join with us. למחזיקים בה, עץ חיים היא, למחזיקים בה, עץ חיים היא, עץ חיים היא, למחזיקים בה, למחזיקים בה, וצומח מאושר. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
This is a challenging Shabbat, which is an odd thing for a rabbi to say. This is a challenging Shabbat. Why is that? Thank you, Jeff. This is a challenging Shabbat because it's known as Shabbat Nachamu. It is the Shabbat that is connected to the holiday of Tisha B'Av. Now, historically, Tisha B'Av is the memorial day that is a full fast day. It's one of two full fast days throughout our calendar, Yom Kippur and Tisha B'Av, and it commemorates the destruction of the temples in Jerusalem. Now, for many, mourning the temples in Jerusalem is worthy. However, without the destruction of the temples in Jerusalem, without the diaspora, we would not be literally sitting here today. We would not pray the way that we do. We instead would have meat sacrifices to a high priest. We wouldn't have this beautiful service. We wouldn't have this beautiful band. We wouldn't have this beautiful community as we know it today. So it's challenging. Is that a day that's worth memorializing? Instead, I focus on some of the other historical calamities that have happened to our people throughout our history on Tisha B'Av. The expulsion of Jews from England, the expulsion of Jews from France, the expulsion of Jews from Spain, the decision to implement the final solution, the bombing of the JCC in Buenos Aires. All of these and many others took place on Tisha B'Av. So instead of saying that I am mourning for the loss of the temples, instead I choose to mourn all of the historical calamities that have affected our people throughout history. And while most Shabbatot we spend in joy, this is one where I want to encourage us to be a little more solemn, in a little more reflection. And so the music and the readings that we will offer, and Rabbi Navarez will lead in a text study later with texts that are focused on this idea of lament. Indeed, the book of Lamentations, the book of Eicha, is the Megillah, the book that we read on Tisha B'Av. And so we hope that this is a Shabbat Shalom, a Shabbat of peace, a Shabbat Nachamu, a Shabbat of comfort. Whatever affliction you have been feeling this past week, whatever sorrows the Jewish people have brought and have experienced in our history and in this week, let us take this Shabbat to find some wholeness, some peace, if only for the next hour or so. We begin our Shabbat service with lights and, yes, a little bit of joy, as we invite Eli Katz up to light our Shabbat candles along with his mom. Our blessing can be found on page 2. Tomorrow, Eli will affirm his place in our community as an adult by observing his bar mitzvah. You'll notice that we use 4 candles as our joy, even as we increase our light, our joy is a little bit diminished. The 2 lights that we always light on every Shabbat, as well as 2 additional lights for those who are still held hostage in Gaza.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של
We turn to page 13 as we continue welcoming Shabbat with the words of Shir Chadash.
Shir
20, L'cha Dodi.
Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, kivare, umiori. Shabbat
as we greet Shabbat, as we also greet one another, turn to someone behind you, around you, in front of you, wish them a Shabbat Shalom, welcome them, introduce yourself for a moment. And for those in our online community, share your Shabbat greetings as you always do. So we collectively come together, turning in our prayer books to page 146, as we call ourselves to worship and to prayer, the Baruch Hu. Page 147, we read responsively, Adonai, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify to your power and wisdom together.
Day follows day in endless succession, and the years vanish, but your sovereignty endures.
Though all things pass, let not your glory depart from us. Help us to become co-workers with you and endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamarif, Haravim. In each age we receive and transmit Torah. At each moment we are addressed by the world.
In each age we are challenged by our ancient teaching. At each moment we stand face to face with truth.
In each age, we add our wisdom to that which has gone before. At each moment, the knowing heart is filled with wonder.
In each age, the children of Torah become its builders and seek to set the world firm on a foundation of truth.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai
Will you please be seated? We continue together chanting the Amidah, chanting the Ve'ahavta, page 150. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu advarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha u'lechtecha v'aderech u'shokbecha u'vkumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'ktavtam al mizuzot beitecha u'visharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitotai v'hitem kedoshim le'elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Adonai Elohechem emes.
As Rabbi Cantor Gimbel noted, on this Shabbat we are coming out of the heaviness of Tish B'Av, and in releasing that communal sadness, we do get to have this little bit of joy and comfort that Shabbat brings. And so we'd love to invite you to join us on page 152 for Mi Chamocha. we turn to our prayer of comfort and peace, where we ask for those things on page 153 for Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom, L'shalom, V'ha'amidenu Shomreinu V'chayim. Fros aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha, Fros aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us not wrong from right, O Adonai. Amen. 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 Amen.
Please join us on page 154 for Vishamru.
Vishameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat. Asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit Odai. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam. Ki sheishet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafal. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafal.
We invite you now to rise as you are able, and we will begin the Amidah together on page 155, and then continue silently through page 167. And in this moment of reflection and comfort this Shabbat, we invite you to either pray the words on the page or take this time to breathe and reflect and speak the words on your heart. 155.
Zevatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha Adonai Zevatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Yom, V'melech Alpei HaMlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzitchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, V'melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, V'melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch
As we enter into that moment in our service where we think of those who are in need of refuah shlema, refuah nefesh, refuah guf, recovery, tikkun, repair of mind, of body, of spirit. So many in our world and our congregation at this time is thinking of Aviva Rivka Bat Yonena, Chasha, Leah Bat Henya, Yisrael Ber Ben Tova, Kevin Lyons, Nancy Gordon, Bruce Parker, Ruth Chana Bat Jane Umayer, John Yuri, Edith Kodmer, Hugo Stopler, Yulia Liu Rovnaya, Mike Lynn, Yaakov Avraham Ben Fegochana, Denise Garrick, Jamie Fox, Hadass Karma Najari, Sarah Kelleher, Barbara Beagle, Diana Hahn, Alfredo Jalowaski, Ilka Fenstra, Sherry Greenman, Grace Rapa Ulio, and Ken Farris. If there is a name or names upon your heart, I invite you as I cross our kahal, our community, our congregation, to share those names so that we can hold them collectively in our hearts as well. As we hold all those who are in need of this soulful repair, we join together for a prayer of Mishabah. As we join together on page 259, a blessing for the state of Israel. We join together. O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shielded beneath the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
This week I felt it was appropriate, instead of sharing some words of Torah, instead of sharing words that I wrote like as a sermon or a drash, I felt I wanted to share some words that all of us can envelop ourselves in a little bit to understand a little more the complexity of the moments in which we're living. This Shabbat Nachamu, as Rabbi Cantor Gimbrel started with us this afternoon and this evening, he talked about the idea that we're in this moment of comfort, that we heeded the words on Tisha B'Av, and then we make our way to Shabbat Nachamu, which is supposed to bring us comfort. And you realize, in between Tisha B'Av, we get Shabbat Nachamu, and then we move to Tu B'Av, which is known in our tradition as the Valentine's Day of our Jewish calendar. And if you're like me, I believe that animals and pets have relevance in our lives and bring us meaning. I don't know what that means in this moment, but we're going to find out for a few minutes. We'll see how it goes. So we're sitting in this time, and Nachamu brings us into that. And we're sitting with a sense of calamity in our hearts, where we entered the first Shabbat of consolation, the first of 7 that lead us to Rosh Hashanah, which means we're 7 weeks away from Rosh Hashanah. And if you are a synagogue professional, you know we're starting to get antsy. So let's say antsy is the word that I'm going to use tonight. So we're here in Shabbat Nachamu. We're trying to make sense of it, and I wanted to share 2 texts. They're going to be on our screens, as you'll see this evening. And those, if you cannot see the screen, there are about 50 sheets in the back. Marty has the sheets. If you'd like a sheet, you're welcome to one. I think many people can see this. It's pretty large, right? If you can't, Marty can pass out some sheets. Thank you, Marty. And I wanted to start with something. These 2 pieces that I'm going to share with you, I believe, have great relevance and resonance to the times in which we're living. And I would love a volunteer to share what's on the screen. Can anybody read for me? Someone that's right in the front. Oh, Jamie, I love it. Thank you very much. You ready? Yes, he's just going to read it. That's it. This comes from Tehillim, from Psalms, chapter 137. Go for it. One second. I just want to make sure we're on. Yeah, it's on. Go ahead.
By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat and wept as we thought of Zion. There on the poplars we hung up our lyres, for our captors asked us there for songs, our tormentors for amusement. Sing us one of the songs of Zion. How can we sing a song of Adonai on alien soil? If I forget you, O Jerusalem, let my right hand wither, let my tongue stick to my palate, as if I cease to think of you. If I do not keep Jerusalem in memory, even at my happiest hour.
Thank you. Well, it's a complicated piece, right? It's a complicated psalm, but I'm curious, what is the message? What are you hearing from this? If you had to guess, you may not know the context, and I'm going to give you the context in a moment, but what do you see here? And those of our scholars here that are joining us, what do you see here? What's the text? Go ahead. Say it again. Remember your roots, okay? Remember your roots, beautiful. What else? What else do you see? That's great, yeah. Richard, real loud. We haven't experienced freedom. Do you know when this is? Does anybody know? I'm going to tell you, but it's a long time ago. Yes, thank you. It's a long time ago. This is a yearning of the Jewish people that were yearning through the Babylonian exile. So we're talking about 6th century BCE. This time is an incredibly tumultuous time. We came from our malachim, we came from our kings, and then all of a sudden, we now are facing this movement out of the space in which we knew. Powerful for the moment that we're in. And we, in 2024, could never imagine that we could possibly feel that energetic push out again. At least I speak for myself. I've heard it from a few of you. But this text is so important if we think about it in the context of Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av is commemorating destruction. It's honoring the times in which there was so much loss. In fact, you're not actually supposed to study Torah on Tisha B'Av because you're supposed to save your time for the wailing. You're supposed to save your time for the sorrow. It's not a time for learning. Yes, we read Lamentations and Echa, but you're not supposed to envelop yourself in study. Why? Because study is so beautiful. Study is so powerful. It gives us knowledge. It gives us so much more. And yet, when we get to this moment of Tisha B'Av, we stop and we cry. We mourn. And this year especially, the tears are more pronounced. And even if each of us didn't necessarily fast or observe, and I tell you here, we don't commemorate Tisha B'Av on the actual Tisha B'Av, partly because I think we've been living in Tisha B'Av for the past 313 days. So for me, it's perpetual in this moment. But the Reform movement always had this love, quasi-hate relationship with the commemoration of Tisha B'Av. I used to honor it in a very powerful way. I think now it's more about looking at it from its larger messages that are encompassing us. But I want to hold this for a moment, this text in Psalms, and I want to go to something we do read on Tisha B'Av, from Echa, from the book of Lamentations. And can I get someone else that will read so beautifully, just like Jamie did, but not Jamie. I want someone else. Okay, Zachary, you ready? There you go.
Alas, lonely sits the city, once great with people. She was the great among nations, is become like a widow. The princesses? It's a lot of S's. Among states is become a thrall. Bitterly she weeps in the night, her cheek wet with tears. There is none to comfort her of all her friends. All her allies have betrayed her. They have become her foes.
Wow. So I read this. I'm not responsible for typos, only translation. Just want to be very clear. Okay. No comments from the Cantor galleries. Okay. So we are in the book of Lamentations, the book that we read that reminds us of destruction. And what is the message that we're hearing here? What is the message of destruction that we are hearing in this moment in the text? Real loud. Go for it, Joel. Grief. What else? Give me emotion. More. Loneliness. Yes. What else? Betrayal. Isolation. Yes. Isolation. What else? Devastation. I don't hear any happy words. I hear very negative qualities. What else? Longing. Yes. All of these majorly intense, emotive adjectives that we describe. Verbs also. But I want you to think about these two texts, the juxtaposition of these two texts. Why do you think these texts were significant to our community? Why do you think? Why would you guess? Yeah? Because we were stuck on alien soil. What else? Beautiful. Yeah? Remembering. So you think it's about the memory that we can never forget, right? Okay. Beautiful. What else? Anything else? Anything else? Think about the power of this text, especially this text of Echa. Anybody have their hand up? Okay, yep. Wistful despair. Can you say more? So think about the emotions, the experiences that are embedded in this text, right? Loneliness, despair. Think about those moments in which you've ever been in any of those emotions. They're painful. They give us a sense of loss. And yet, they remind us that every year we have to read that again and again and again, because we have to remember the power of loss. We have to remember the power of the pain. Because from out of the mud comes our ability to find beauty and purpose and light. And these texts this year are very heavy. They are monumentally heavy if you're really reading them in the way that I have been. Because how have these been powerful for the Jewish community today? Well, we are experiencing, do we have the text again? Sorry. Do it, just the last one. Thank you. So how are we experiencing them? Loneliness, a great among nations. She is becoming like a widow. Alienation. Israel is becoming alienated. We see that more and more. The princess among states is a thrall. Bitterly she weeps in the night, her cheek wet with tears. There's pain and loss. And there's none to comfort her of all her friends, and her allies have betrayed her. They have become her foes. It was almost like it was written post-October 7th. And yet, we have these texts that become timeless. These texts that give us more layers and emotions, and they provide us anchors by which to find there's something going on here. This is so interesting. Those online, it is wow. Think about what memory does for us. Think about what pain does for us. Pain is not something that we sit in. Anger is not something where we sit in. I believe it takes too much of our energy. It takes too much of us. We take these texts and we find meaning and purpose because we pursue, we persevere, we find another. We find a way out. Do you ever know the Israelite nation to sit in this text? Think about it long term. Has the Israelite community ever sat in these texts in perpetuity? Never. And we're not about to start. These texts remind us that throughout the generations, throughout our civilization, there has been pain and there has been loss, and we are in one of those moments yet again. We are here. And it doesn't mean that we're not in pain, but it means that we are here to go from Tisha B'Av to Tu B'Av. And in the middle, we need to bring each other comfort. When we take Tisha B'Av and when we sit in the loss and we acknowledge it and we name it, we don't hide it. This is not a family meal where you're trying to hide that you got a bad test score or something happened and you don't want to discuss it in the family system. This is putting it out there raw and painful. Because in order for us to grow from our pain, we have to acknowledge the pain. And so here it is. Our text gives it to us in such beautiful prose and poetry. And it says, we have pain. We are at loss. We feel alienated. Yet that's not the end of our story. Our story continues. Our story grows. Our story becomes the possibility. And I promise you over High Holy Days, we're going to go deep into this. We're going to go deep into finding beauty and happiness and joy, Jewish joy from this. We are going to live Tu B'Av because we still have to acknowledge the Tisha B'Av in order to get to the Tu B'Av every single year. And Shabbat Nachamu starts our journey towards light, towards wholeness, towards the possibility. And I invite you to be with us in these coming weeks as we begin to think through and dissect, pull the onion layers down, and find the rawness so that we can get to the wholeness. This is what Nachamu is about. This is what our text, this is what our tradition, our civilization is about. Wishing all of you Shabbat Shalom. This time, I'd like to call upon our immediate past president of our congregation, Mr. Dan Jones.
Shabbat Shalom. Or as we say in the small Jewish village where I am from, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Shabbat Shalom, y'all. I'm here to give you a little bit of information on some upcoming things here at Beth Israel. Tomorrow at 9 a.m., Rabbi Navarez will be leading Torah study both here in the Activity Center and on Zoom. And while tonight's drash was a preview of Rosh Hashanah, I have a feeling that tomorrow's may have something to do with the Alfred Hitchcock's film The Birds. But that's just a guess at this point. Following Torah study, we'll have our Leilad Minyan services at 10:30, and all are welcome to attend. Mazel tov to Eli and his family as he becomes a bar mitzvah tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. So mazel tov to you. On August 27th, a series of 3 classes begins offering learners the opportunity to explore this year's High Holy Day theme, Out of the Depths, Finding Hope, with Rabbi Ilana Ackerman-Hirsch. That's how you have to say that, by the way. As always, we'd like to thank the women of Beth Israel and the Beth Israel Men's Club for volunteering as greeters. We'd like to thank all of our musicians, including our youth and teen choir. And by the way, many members of our youth and teen choir are very involved in the JFS Safe Parking Program. And tomorrow we'll have a bake sale going on that they've been working very, very hard to get ready for. And I hear there are already over 100 snickerdoodles prepared. So that's a lot of snickerdoodles, so they're going to need some people to come and buy these. It's a great, great cause. And I'm sure the people in the front row can give you some information on where and when that will be tomorrow. So, that is a lot to remember. You can always find all of this information and more on our brand new and improved website, cbisd.org, or you can look for me or anyone with a badge after services, and we'd be happy to talk to you a lot more about what Beth Israel has to offer. Shabbat Shalom, y'all.
Thank you, Dan. That's a great way to say my name. I like it. I might have to adopt it. It's good. But on a different note, as we begin to conclude our service, we will begin to conclude our service with Elenu on page 282. Please rise as you are able.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
Our thoughts now turn to those who are no longer with us. If you hear the name of your loved one this evening, we invite you to rise so that we might acknowledge your period of grief or mourning, or simply your period of remembering your loved one. We are in the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days after death, for the following members of our community: Mark Alterman, Rebecca Newman, Mira Nissenbaum, Nadine Finkel, Rabbi Marcy Gelb Delvik, Penelope Ann Kasser, Clarence Greenwald, and Rachel Chasen. Tonight we acknowledge the yard sites of the following people: Fred Anderson, Emily Bailey, Stanley Beck, Phyllis Bendit, Leah Bensman, Sydney Allen Berkman, Estelle Berman, Judith Bianchini, Lois Bloom, Fred Berg, Theodore Cantor, Myrtle Chittendon, Stanford Cohn, Glenn F. Dime, Francis Dragg, Rosalind Earth, Alan Freed, Samuel Friedman, Benjamin Frost, Gary Gerlich, Elmer Glazer, Margaret Goldbaum, Bernice Goldfarb, Michael Goodman, Ruth Gold, Estelle Hartman, Cora Hyman, Michael Hinden, Paul Hiddleman, Linda Holden, Ruth Horowitz, Irma Inbinder, Carl Kirsch, Nancy Kerme, Sally Kurlander, Morton Lakin, Rose Levenstein, Jane Lipinski, Bella Mont, Joseph Leo Mullen, Ben Nelson, Susie Norton, Joseph Montrose O'Malley, Harry Peasant, Delmer Platt, Carol Senft Ryman, Marcella Richmond, Seymour J. Rosenberg, Roy Rosenwald, Sandra Rubin, Fanny Samuels, David J. Sandweiss, Nathan Schneider, Saul Schuffman, Luciano Sabo, Ann Schultz, Genevieve Simons, Miriam Simon, Ron Scholar, Sam Slayan, Bernard Schlomowitz, William Starr, Manny Stein, Sam Stone, Bert M. Strauss, Janet Webb, and Michael White. If you are thinking of somebody tonight whose name we did not read out loud and you wish to share their name with our community so that we may hold you as well, I invite you to rise and say their name aloud as my hand meets yours. We hold all of their names and those names we did not say out loud with us as we say the Kaddish together. I invite you to rise. The Kaddish can be found on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah,
Amen.
Be'alma divrach hirtei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayichon uv'yomechon uv'chaye decho beit Yisrael, Ba'agala uv'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam almei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudasha b'reichu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, Da'amiram be'ama v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah mim shemaya, V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom b'mramav, Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. We invite you to stay standing, and if you'd like to put your arms around your neighbors, and as we conclude our service tonight with Osei Shalom.
Aleinu.
somebody next to you, around you, behind you. Wish them a Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We join together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.